Hello, my name is Kirioth, and today we're going to talk about a couple of things that are, I guess, very closely related. And they are the fact that 2018 was supposed to be the year of the Xenos for Warhammer 40,000, and have Games Workshop messed that up, and the fact that two of the new codexes that we can expect within the next couple of months are in fact two more flavours of power armour in the form of the Adeptus Custodes and the Thousand Suns. Now, there's been a lot of kind of different reactions to the announcement that the Custodes are getting their own codex. There's been actually some fairly positive reactions to Thousand Suns, in fairness, because whilst that is power armor flavoured, it at least is not Imperium power armor flavoured. At least you've got some demons in there, you've got some interesting crossover between some of the stuff that was previously only available in Age of Sigmar, will now be available in Warhammer 40k. It's not got quite as much backlash as I think the Custodes announce has. And I guess what we're going to do is, first of all, I've been looking really quite hard, right? I've gone through, I don't know how many Warhammer community articles, only official sources that I've been looking through. I have to be absolutely fair to Games Workshop for this video. I can't find anything where Games Workshop themselves made a big deal about how 2018 was going to be the year of the Xenos. I just can't see reference to that. Now, of course, you can get that idea from the fact that we've had mainly Imperium stuff so far. We've had Space Marines, we've had Blood Angels, we've had Dark Angels, we've had Imperial Guard, we've had a load of Imperium based stuff, a load of power armor based stuff already. We've had Chaos Space Marines, we've had Death Guard, we've had very little in the way of actual alien races. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's only Eldar so far that have had their own codex. So you can look at that and you can say, well, given what is remaining, what we have left, surely 2018 has to be the year of the Xenos. There's no other way for it to be. Now, unfortunately, that does ignore the fact that there's at least Space Wolves that don't have their codex yet. We've been hearing stuff about as this is a battle codex for God knows how long. Whether that actually turns out to be true or not, I don't know. But if that is true, then we could reasonably expect that in 2018. So there's already at least one flavour of Imperium still left, and there could well be another. Games Workshop hasn't really made a big deal of the fact that 2018 should be the year where all of the alien races get their shit. That being said, when you only release Imperium stuff, not only, that's an exaggeration, but when you mostly release Imperium stuff in the first year of the new edition, you're kind of going to give people the impression that their day will come. You're not going to get it this year, but you're going to get it next year. You're definitely going to get it next year, because there's no other way for it to be. In that sense, yes, I think 2018 is the year of the Xenos. Now, the question to that is whether that has already been ruined. Whether Games Workshop have already messed that up. Official or not, that is the impression that has been given to a lot of players. And have they screwed this up? Have they totally mangled it? Are people now going to be too pissed off? It's just a case of, well, no, we wanted this, you didn't give us this, what the hell is this Custode shit? I absolutely understand that. In fact, I even said when we talked about the reveal of the Custodes that I would have preferred something to do with Necrons, frankly. I mean, yes, I have since read the Watchers of the Throne, I think it's called. I can't even remember the name of the book. I slammed it out over the weekend. But a lot of the stuff that the one image that we saw in the build-up to the Custodes release did have a Necron feel to it, at least to my mind, anyway. And given the amount of attention that the Imperium stuff has already seen, I mean, hell, we've got Primaris, for God's sake, this edition. That is a massive release. That is a decent line of models. That is quite the change. That is a shake-up to the Imperium as a whole. To suddenly get another big release, another kind of look at these power-armoured nutters, to get that twice, that's kind of big. And if you're a Xenos player, it also sucks. It just sucks because it feels like you're not getting any attention. Now, for me, there's something that always feels lacking when it comes to Games Workshop and Warhammer 40k is balance. I don't mean in a tabletop sense. I mean in there's that word again, representation sense. Whether it is the fact that there's no fucking female models for Imperial Guard, that feels like an imbalance. Whether it's announcing a brand new Imperium power armor army when there's like one Xenos codex out. That feels like imbalance. But you guys who actually stick with the alien races, you kind of get the short end of the stick every single time, it feels like. Especially now that we're at the, I guess, towards the tail end of the releases for this edition, before we start going back around again, when presumably we will see reworks of codexes we've already got. We'll see new models for all the different ranges. I would hope we'd see new models for all the different ranges, with the exception of things like Primaris, because we already have an entire line of Space Marines. They don't really need anything more. Of course, they're still going to get it, but we don't need it. It feels like the Xenos just don't get the attention they deserve. Now, there is, of course, a reason for this. Space Marines are vastly more popular. But at the moment, it feels like there's sort of almost like not a catch-22 situation, but Space Marines are more popular, and so Games Workshop produces more flavours of Space Marine. And because more flavours of Space Marine are more popular, people buy them more, which means Games Workshop then produce more. It's like a cycle where the popularity dictates that they get more stuff, and because they get more stuff, they don't have enough time to work on the Xenos races, which means the Xenos races don't get as much stuff, and so they don't get as much attention, because the cycle just continues on and on. All that being said, we are only at the start of the year. It is the 10th of January. It has been 10 days since the new year began, and whilst it is disappointing to see a lack of Xenos announcements at this point, I don't think they've messed it up yet. I think this will very much depend on what they announce next. Now, we can be pretty sure that the Custodes Codex and Thousand Suns Codex, they're going to be next up after Demons. We know that. But after that, we've got Tau, we've got Necron, we've got Orcs, we've got Dark Eldar. Who else have we got? I think there's another one. No, we've already had Tyranids, haven't we? We have had Tyranids. I forgot about Tyranids. I apologise, Tyranids. But we've got a good selection of Xenos codexes to choose from. If Games Workshop, having released Thousand Suns, having released Custodes, then come out and say, and next in line is Sisters of Battle and Space Wolves, that's going to be garbage. I'll say that right now. That is going to be utter trash. That would essentially just give the impression that if you play any of the other armies, you're just not worth anything to them, Yeah, great, you've got a big Necron army, but the fact is we don't care about Necron, so it doesn't matter. You cannot afford to give that impression. You cannot afford to make dedicated parts of your fan base feel that way. And I'll be honest, I think you genuinely have to be a bit more dedicated to play the Xenos races than you do the others. Now, that probably sounds very kind of condescending and a bit much of a generalisation, but when you consider how popular Space Marines are in comparison to everything else, you kind of have to accept that you are not going to get as much care and attention, as much love as the poster boys for 40k when you pick another race. When you pick something like Necrons or Orcs, especially Orcs, you kind of have to sit there and go, we've had one release in the last 2 years and we're probably not going to get another one for another 2, so that kind of sucks, but I like them, so we're going to carry on. You kind of have to acknowledge that you're not going to get that attention. If Games Workshop does announce, for instance, the rumblings are Tau and Necron after Thousand Suns and Adeptus Custodes, which would make sense, and I would hope that's what we'd see, then I don't think they have completely mangled it. In the eyes of the players, I don't think that will completely mangle it. If they manage to get those codexes out quickly, maybe as a double release, that would, I think, go some way to not kind of offsetting the sense of, do you not give a shit about us? But it would help a little bit, because it would show that they are keen to get those codexes out and get those armies up to speed. I think announcing the Custodes and the Thousand Suns was a misstep. I don't think they've read the room. I don't think they've read the room at all. I think what they've looked at is the fact that Custodes are actually surprisingly popular, and they've gone, okay, let's do something big. Let's go for it. Let's have an entirely new army. And whilst there are, a number of players like me who've kind of looked at that and gone, oh, hell yes, I'll collect those, there's also a significant number of players who have been holding on for their codex since 8th dropped. and they still don't have it. And introducing a new army before then, it is a complete, I think, a complete misunderstanding of what people in the hobby overall want. See, this is the thing as well. It's not just you Xenos players that I get why you're pissed off, and I get why it's infuriating that it's more power armor. It's not just you though. Like, I like the Custodes. I like the look of that army. I intend to make an army of those. I'm already working out ways to essentially cut down on the speed of building up my Imperial Guard army because I want to collect Custodes. That being said, as a player of the game, as someone who is involved in the hobby, as someone who loves the universe, it frankly sucks shit seeing so many people not get their codex before this faction arrives. It is absolutely ridiculous to me that you can read the atmosphere so badly that you look at what is left to come out and go, yeah, but before that, let's have more power armor. I don't understand that at all. Now, I can kind of understand the mentality in that, you know, it's a new year, you want to do something big, you want to generate hype, you want to generate buzz. Yeah, I get that. But at the same time, even as someone who is in favour of this force, I still looked at it and went, oh, that's cool. I would have preferred something to do with Xenos. I mean, that's great, but why wasn't it something to do with Necrons? I'll buy them, but why now? You know, I think it's a misstep. I don't think they've ruined it. I don't think they've completely mangled it. We are, after all, at the very start of the year. Admittedly, it does give the impression that the rest of the year is not going to go great if you're a Xenos player. But at the same time, it's just a weird decision to me. I would have much preferred to see something to do with any of the remaining Xenos races, but we got Custodes. Don't think they've wrecked it, but I think it was a misstep, and I think they need to do something to correct it, because even the people who are excited about the announcement, from what I've read and from people I've spoken to, even people who are excited about it are still sitting there going, yeah, but what about all those others that don't have codexes though? What about them? You don't want that question to be a question that's asked. It shouldn't be a question that's asked in the first place. Things that are like entirely new armies, or at least huge expansions on existing forces, like the Custodes is, technically. I know it's not technically a new army, but you get what I mean. That should wait. It should wait. It should be the thing that closes off the new codexes for the new edition. It should be the grand celebration at the end. We've gone through all of the codexes. Every army that needed a codex has a codex, and now, to top it all off, Custodes. That would have been perfect in my mind. That would have been absolutely perfect. But we didn't get that. Instead, we got them before you guys got yours, which is just dumb, and I don't... Anyway, that's what I reckon about it. Bit rambly, but there you go. Question is, what do you think? Do you think they made just a bit of a misstep, or do you think they royally fucked it up? Do you think they can repair this? Or are you now at the point where you're like, they don't give a shit about Xenos, so why should I give a shit about them? I'd be really interested to hear what you think. Also, my attempt at not swearing in videos just collapsed today. I don't know what's happened there. Curses all over the gaff. It's going to get demonetised. Whatever. Go away, YouTube. Go and spend the rest of the day examining Logan Paul's channel. Arseholes. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below. As already said, do you think they have misstepped? Do you think they've totally ruined it? Can they repair it? What are you looking forward to most out of the remaining codexes? And as a Xenos player, are you feeling neglected? Or are you still going to give them a second chance? I'd be interested to hear what you have to say. Feel free to click the various things all over the screen. There's a Patreon thing, subscribe thing, videos, all of that crap. Click it if you like. Don't click if you don't want to. It's your life. Live it how you like. And I will see you for the next video. Toodaloo.